Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Brunch Stream. I'm Ramblin Deano. Good to have you aboard. Nice to be back after a week off here. Last Saturday night, I played a couple sets with the Waco Brothers at a place in Arlington Heights, Illinois called Hey Nani, and it was a really great night, really great to see the guys again, although I missed Joe Camarillo, though his substitute Dan Massey is fantastic as well. It was really great to play a live show for the first time in ages. I hadn't seen my pals in the band in months, so that was very, very cool. And it was a pretty neat setup. They had this is a venue that's a restaurant and live music venue. They opened up all the walls, opened up all the windows, had people spaced about probably 15 feet apart, the tables, and then had the street blocked off and had other tables outside that also had a view of the stage. And all of that seemed pretty safe with all the ventilation and the spacing and stuff. And so, I felt pretty good about it. There's a lot of gigs that I probably wouldn't take because I don't think everyone's doing it quite that safe. I'm in the paranoid part of my show right now where I haven't seen a comment from everybody, so I'm wondering whether. Oh, there we go. Tony's there. Okay, good deal. Always freak out when I don't see a comment in the chat section because I've had a history of technical difficulties with this format. Morning, Trish. Good to have you here. For today's show, I thought I would play a mix of songs that I've written and songs that Merle Haggard has written, and I'm gonna kind of go back and forth between the two, which is kind of cocky on my part, I guess, since Merle's so damn brilliant. But I'm gonna start out with one of mine. This is off of my latest album, Kill the Truth, which is available on Bandcamp, and you can order that stuff. You can also go to my website and order all sorts of posters and vinyl and all sorts of things like that, or subscribe to Ramblin Deano. I get a nice little monthly, sort of. Every day I kind of look at my PayPal account, and $5 came in from here, $5 came in from there, so helps make up for some of the lost live music income that I'm missing. Hey Jay, good to have you here. Jay, I was kind of surprised I didn't see you at Hey Nani. Maybe we'll see you at Fitzgerald's on the 7th. We're playing. Waco Brothers are playing on the patio at Fitzgerald's in wonderful Berwyn, Illinois, on November 7th. If any of you folks are in Illinois watching this, maybe get a chance to, probably your last chance to see us live for some time. Anyway, music, that's what you're here for, right? A Promise Unfulfilled. The roses we planted never bloomed, and the house we started to build sits empty on that shining hill, a promise unfulfilled. We had a dream of a new home, nothing could keep us apart. Before long it was clear it was only a dream. It was built on a lie from the start. The roses we planted never bloomed, and the house we started to build sits empty on that shining hill, a promise unfulfilled. family turned on me. The other half turned back on them. We believed all the lies. We took our sides. Guess our love was weaker than sin. The roses we planted never bloomed, and the house we started to build sits empty on that shining hill, a promise unfulfilled, a promise unfulfilled. From the latest album, Kill the Truth, on my Bandcamp page. My name is Dean Schlabowski. That's hard to spell, but I have faith in the fact that you can find it by searching Ramblin' Deano. Merle Haggard. I'm going to do 3 Merle songs today. And 2 of them are actually from the 80s, but this one's from his kind of classic honky-tonk period in the late 60s, mid to late 60s. And I don't know why. This is not what I would consider a classic from Merle. Despite its subject matter, it's actually kind of lighthearted and but for some reason I've always really dug this song. It's on the Lonesome Fugitive album, and it's called Skid Row. Well, not long ago I was a happy man, money in my pockets with a ring on my hand. My money's all gone and I'm feeling low, standing on the corner of Skid Row. Well, my girlfriend left me, she don't want me no more. We had a great big fight just the night before. She said I got no class because she knows I've been hanging around on Skid Row. People walk by, they stop and stare, they giggle and they snicker at the clothes I wear. It's just another day like it always goes when you're hanging around on Skid Row. Yeah. I got an old John Bream with a Van Moore crew, a great big hole in my blue suede shoe. My wine's all gone and I need some more. I'm standing on the corner of Skid Row. People walk by, they stop and stare, they giggle and they snicker at the clothes I wear. It's just another day like it always goes when you're hanging around on Skid Row. Hanging around on Skid Row. Hanging around on Skid Row. Oh, Skid Row, good times. There's a line in the lyrics there that I keep meaning to research, and I think this must refer to some sort of attire, but I got an old John Beam and a Van Moore crew. And when I first saw that in the lyrics, when I looked them up online, I thought that's got to be a mistake, because a lot of these lyric sites, they just have software that just tries to cull these lyrics from the recordings, and they get a lot of things wrong. But I listened to the recording, and that does appear to be what he's saying, an old John Bream with a Van Moore crew. And then he starts talking about his blue suede shoes, so I don't know if that's some sort of coat or a hat or I don't know, but I need to look that up. Merle Haggard. Now let's do one of mine. I'm going to capo for this sucker. Also off the Kill the Truth album. This one I just probably might be one of the 2 or 3 that I'm most proud of on this record. I just really enjoy playing it, and I'm patting myself on the back for doing what I think is a good job. It's called I Just Can't Let You Go. A fainter smile I've never seen. The waterline is low, holding on to a technicolor past, and I just can't let you go. No, I just can't let you go. When I was a young boy, the water was clear. You could see right down to the floor. Even though I know now that there's nothing so clean, I just can't let you go. No, I just can't let you go. Just can't let you go. The story, the way it was told, the history that I was sold. No, I just can't let you go. The flags, the fireworks, the chrome and the steel, but the darkness that's getting hard to ignore. But I grew up fed wonder, bread and dreams, and I just can't let you go. No, I just can't let you go. I just can't let you go. The story, the way it was told, the history that I was sold. No, I just can't let you go. I just can't let you go. I just can't let you go. I Just Can't Let You Go by Ramblin Deano, off the latest Ramblin Deano release, Kill the Truth. Cheers, everybody. All right. I'm gonna attempt to play this next Merle Haggard one without the benefit of a lyric sheet, because I just didn't get my shit together and make that happen. So hopefully I get it right. This is a song that I first became familiar with from a Merle Haggard tribute record called Tulare Dust, and it was performed on the record by Dave Alvin, who later became an acquaintance slash friend of mine. He's closer to Langford. They've done some touring together. But this song just knocked me out. It's horribly sad, as a lot of great songs are. And it's called Kern River. It's about somebody's girlfriend drowning. Not happy, but hey, that's not what I do. You know that by now. I'll never swim Kern River again. It was there that I met her, there that I lost my best friend. I live in the mountains, I drifted up here with the wind. I may drown in still water, but I'll never swim Kern River again. I was born in an oil town, but my gusher, it never came in. And the river was a boundary where my darling and I used to swim. One night a current swept her life away. Now I live on Lake Shasta. Lake Shasta is where I will stay. I'll never swim in the river again. It was there that I left her, there that I lost my best friend. I live in the mountains, I drifted up here with the wind. I may drown in still water, but I'll never swim Kern River again. The South San Joaquin, where the seeds of the Dust Bowl are found. There's a place called Mount Whitney where the mighty Kern River flows down. Well, it ain't deep or wide, but it's a mean piece of water, my friend. I may pass on the highway, I'll never swim Kern River again. I'll never swim Kern River again. It was there that I met her, there that I lost my best friend. I live in the mountains, I drifted up here with the wind. I may drown in still water, but I'll never swim Kern River again. I may drown in still water, but I'll never swim Kern River again. What a beautiful and touching and sad song. So, you know, one thing you discover when you kind of delve into Merle Haggard is that all of us who came to country music from kind of hipper music circles, you know, tend to focus on the kind of cool retro era of country, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s kind of stuff. And Merle just never stopped writing great songs, you know. And I really think, you know, when you're talking about, as a songwriter, he is at a level that very, very few people, only people like Hank Williams are in the same, should be mentioned in the same breath as Merle Haggard. Johnny Cash, you know, those people who just wrote fantastic song after fantastic song for decades and decades. Unfortunately, when you get into the 80s, the production doesn't sound so great on a lot of that stuff. It's not too bad on Merle's version of Kern River. I'd suggest listening to it for sure. The video is super corny. I'd suggest watching the video just so you can see the scene where the couple of actors are sitting alongside these rapids, this river, which may or may not be the Kern River, I don't know. But then through the magic of video technology, she just disappears. It's harder to take the sadness of the song as seriously with the corny 80s video for it. Barry, welcome aboard. I must confess that I have almost no familiarity with Jerry Jeff Walker. I don't know why. Part of it, I think, is because in the circles I moved in Austin when I lived there. He was such a familiar fixture that familiarity breeds contempt thing sort of happened. So in kind of hip Austin world of people my age, maybe a lot of people kind of dismissed Jerry Jeff, but I've heard some of the stuff, obviously, but maybe I need to investigate more. I'm going to play one of my songs now. This is unreleased, waiting for the correct project. It's written in a Buddy Holly sort of Peggy Sue kind of rhythm, and it's called I'll Stay Here As Long As I Can. First line. 8 hours of work, 3 hours of TV, pills on the nightstand. Whole lot of people think the world of me. I'll stay here as long as I can. You know, I'll stay here as long as I can. An amp and guitar in the trunk of my car, long neck in my hand. 45 minutes of commercial-free music. I'll stay here as long as I can. You know, I'll stay here as long as I can. One day there'll be nothing left of me but a puddle of white liquor, a puff of smoke, an off-color joke. I'll stay here as long as I can. You know, I'll stay here as long as I can. When I look in your eyes, I can clearly see where it ended and where it began. Hey, anyone can have a bad century. I'll stay here as long as I can. You know, I'll stay here as long as I can. Kick me, I can take it. I like running with the also-rans. Another endless night, no relief in sight. I'll stay here as long as I can. You know, I'll stay here as long as I can. I'll stay here as long as I can. You know, I'll stay here as long as I can. Yeah. I'll stay here as long as I can. Unreleased material from a little-known artist in West Allis, Wisconsin, named Ramblin Deano. Maybe it'll end up on a Waco Brothers album if we can ever be in the same room and record things safely again. Recording studios aren't exactly places that are ideal in a pandemic. You tend to be cramped together in little rooms, expelling a whole lot of micro droplets. All right, so another Merle song. Let me get my lyrics up here for this one. This is a song, a while back I taught a series of wine classes, and so one of the things I did when I taught the classes was I would perform a wine-themed song, and this was one of the ones that I learned for that, and it's another 80s Merle tune called Heaven Was a Drink of Wine. That psycho, that psychologist, asked me about my drinking ways. Every question that he asked me all related back to my childhood days. But if the truth was known, I never took to drinking, as long as she was mine, she was mine. But when she left me, I went to hell, and heaven was a drink of wine. That good doctor said, look at all these ink spots and tell me what you see. Could I help it if they all look like big old broken hearts to me? All my friends in Dallas will tell you, Ramblin' Deano, he ain't the drinking kind. But when she left me, I went to hell, and heaven was a drink of wine. Get back, get on back and leave me alone. Can't you see that you can't help a man that's this far gone? Hey, good doctor, I got something you can't find in my mind. When she left me, I went to hell, and heaven was a drink of wine. Hey, good doctor, heaven was a drink of wine. So the actual line in that song is my friends in Kane will tell you, old Haggard isn't the drinking kind. So I decided I can't really adopt Merle's persona, so I threw in my own alteration of those lyrics. You gotta love a song that the first line is, that psychologist asked me about my drinking ways. You know what? We should really talk about wine, since the last couple songs in my set here mention it. It was also mentioned in Skid Row. What am I drinking today? Well, I drink a lot of Côte d'Aron, so I'm drinking Côte d'Aron again. I guess that's hard to read that label. I don't know. Nah, it doesn't want to get the contrast right. But this is from a producer called Claude Monolivet. And so I've talked about Côte d'Aron with you before, so what should I say? I should remind you that it's a region in the south of France. Most Côte d'Aron comes from vineyards that surround the city of Avignon, and most of the wines are predominantly made with the Grenache grape, but they're blends, and they typically include Syrah and Mourvedre, and they're just super, super values. And highly recommended. Even the mainstream producers make pretty good examples. So I have told you before that former drummer of the Waco Brothers, Steve Goulding, had a saying that you can't go wrong with a Côte d'Aron, and it's kind of true. So buy Côte d'Aron, drink Côte d'Aron. What else can I tell you? Well, this wine has something that you might see on wine labels from France. It has the term Vieille Vigne on it, or Vieille Vigne, I think is the correct pronunciation. I barely speak wine French, let alone real French. But what that means is old vines, and you've probably seen the words old vines on other labels, wines from California. Why would people want to tell you that their vines are old? Well, there's sort of an accepted premise in the wine business that lower production produces better quality wines. So grapes that vines that are producing less bunches per vine produce higher quality wines. Why? Because all those nutrients in the soil are going towards a smaller amount of fruit, so there's more intense flavor there. Well, the older wines get, the less productive they get. So it's very common with old vines that you're only getting a handful of bunches per vine. So that's why you'll see that advertised. In France, there's a legal requirement. If it says old vines on it, the vines have to be 25 years old. That's actually not that super old in terms of the wine world. Interestingly, California and Australia have some of the oldest vines in the world because they have some vines that weren't wiped out by the phylloxera epidemic in the late 1800s. So California, especially in Gold Rush country, has some vines that are well over 100 years old. Typically Zinfandel vines is what you'll see there. So old vine Zinfandel is one of the coolest things you can buy from California. All right, I've only got one more song for you today, but I'm going to leave the Ramblin' Wino thing up here because it's another wine-themed one. And, I gotta get my lyrics up here. So I was kind of cheating on this one because it's kind of also serves as my What Would George Sing segment on this. So maybe I'll switch to that. Gotta have the picture of possum up there. So this is actually a Willie Nelson song, but it's a Willie Nelson song that on a fairly recent record, a record from the 2000s, Merle and George recorded together. So I got to cover all three bases with this. It's a Willie Nelson song, which I always have fun playing, that fits with my Merle theme for today and is also something that George Jones has performed on record. If you don't, it seems like even at their advanced ages, their recording of this, Merle and George, were kind of trying to outdo each other in terms of vocal histrionics. So it's not my favorite recording of the song. The Willie original is my favorite recording of the song. It's worth checking out. But if you don't own the Willie Nelson album, Yesterday's Wine, you better own the Willie Nelson album, Yesterday's Wine, because it's one of his masterpieces, and this is the title track. Miracles appear in the strangest of places. Fancy meeting you here. Last time I saw you was just out of Houston. Sit down, let me buy you a beer. Your presence is welcome with me and my friend here. This is a hangout of mine. We come here quite often and listen to music, partaking of yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. Aging with time, like yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. Aging with time, like yesterday's wine. You give the appearance of one widely traveled. I bet you've seen things in your time. So sit down beside me and tell me your story. if you think you'll like yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. Aging with time, like yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. Aging with time, like yesterday's wine. I think that deserves one more chorus, don't y'all? Yesterday's wine, yesterday's wine, aging with time, like yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine, yesterday's wine, aging with time, like yesterday's wine. Yesterday's wine. If you go and listen to the Willie or the George and Merle version, Merle starts out and Willie sings, "Miracles appear in the strangest of places." Merle's version is like, "Miracles appear in the strangest of places." And George does all the same sort of stuff following him up. They trade off parts of the verse. So it's kind of funny watching them compete because they're two of the greatest country vocalists ever. So it's fun. Hey, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always great having you here. Remember, you can subscribe or you can donate or you can buy merch at my website. Just Google Ramblin Deano. One announcement before I go. I'm adding to my weekly programming. So starting this Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Time, there will be Ramblin Deano's Honky Tonk Happy Hour. So I'm going to do a show Thursday and Sunday each week, and do whatever I goddamn feel like. But there'll be 2 chances to watch me each week. So I forgot to mention that earlier. But anyway, great to have you here as always. Stay safe, stay sane, stay home if you can, and I love y'all, and I will be right back here on Thursday at 5 p.m. Central for Ramblin Deano's Honky Tonk Happy Hour. Love y'all. Bye-bye.